aside, do you know that recycling one can actually provide enough electricity to power your iPod for a whole album? In fact, if you recycle 100 of these, it can provide enough electricity to light your bedroom for 2 whole weeks. Today I'd like to discuss the importance of recycling and why everyone should participate in the recycling program. I'll discuss how easy it is to participate in the recycling program, the benefits for landfills, for the environment, and individual benefits we all can receive. First, I'd like to discuss how easy it is to recycle. You can go to recyclingcenters.org, type in your zip code, and hit search by zip code. From there, a list of recycling centers in your area will pop up. You can click on one of them and it'll show you the phone number, the address of the place. You can just call them and get something set up. An interesting fact, 87% of Americans actually have access to recycling, whether it be curbside pickup or drop off at a facility. For example, I live in Proctor. I have access to curbside pickup. The Hartels comes by every other week and picks up my recycling. My grandparents live out in Friedenberg, and they actually have a drop-off recycling. So they collect the recyclables for 2 weeks, a month, and then when the drop-off days are open at the Friedenberg Community Center, they bring their recyclables up there. So recycling, it's fairly easy. It's an easy process to get set up. So now I'd like to explain the importance of recycling. Well, here's a list as well. When you call the recycling center, they'll tell you items you can recycle and what cannot be recycled. So this is from Hartel's website. I can recycle paper products, plastic products, and metals, and it tells you a list of what kinds. They don't want you to recycle plastic bags, so they say that there in bold. They'll also give you a whole list of topics and products that you cannot recycle, like hazardous waste, cat litter containers, pizza boxes. Another reason to participate in a recycling program is because it actually reduces waste in landfills. This is just a picture of the United States, and according to the EPA, about 13,000 landfills exist in the United States. Minnesota has 26. Now, there's only so much space in these landfills for products to go, and it takes products a long time to decompose. It depends on what they're made of. So, when you think about how much the average American throws away, we could actually run out of space for our trash. Some interesting facts on recycling and how much we throw away is that Americans, we represent 5% of the world's population, but we generate 30% of the waste. So that's 1/3 of the waste in the entire world Americans generate, but we are such a small population according to the whole world. On average, each American wastes 1 million pounds of material per person every year. This includes carpet, packing peanuts, food, chemicals, hazardous waste, and construction debris. Now, out of all these items that we're throwing away, less than 2% of what we're throwing away is actually recycled. If the entire world were to live how America lives today, we would need 2 more Earths. That's 3 Earths if everybody lived how we live today, throwing stuff away. To put it another way, Americans throw away enough garbage every day to fill 63,000 garbage trucks, which if lined up would extend, lined up end to end for an entire year, would stretch halfway up to the moon. And out of all the garbage we throw away, we're only recycling about 2% of it. However, about half of it in total could be recycled. So we're only recycling 2%. Another benefit of recycling is it's very good for the environment. We produce waste goes to landfills, and the bad thing about landfills is they actually leak. Now they started using plastic liners about 1/10 of an inch wide and 1/2 of an inch deep, thick. 1/10 of an inch thick, that's what it is. And they line the bottom of the landfills. Now the bad thing about these is they actually leak. The EPA surveyed a bunch of landfills with these liners, and 82% actually were found to have leaks. Out of that 82%, 41%, almost half, had a leak over a square foot. So that's like a tile when you walk into the grocery store, or 41% of them had a leak. So when you consider the hazardous materials we're throwing away, they're leaking and seeping into the environment, into the soil, which then travels down into the water, gets into our water stream. So the end result is, what are we really drinking? What's in our water? What's seeping into the lakes and rivers? You know, how's that affecting not only the water we drink, but what we catch from the water, the fish, that kind of thing. Another reason to participate in a recycling program is the many benefits we can receive. As individuals, we can actually make money recycling. Some states allow you to earn 5 cents a can for recycling a can, such as this. Now I can pass this around, but at the top of the can, it gives some states up there, and it tells you how much 5 cents next to it. So in the states listed at the top of this can, you can get 5 cents per can. So you can make money recycling. If you want to pass it around. Another way we can save money, it's another benefit to ourselves, is by not having to pay bottling fees. Now in Minnesota, we don't have to pay bottling fees, but when my husband and I went out to New York, we actually had to pay a bottling fee for the bottled water that we bought. They charged us a separate bottling fee on top of the bottles. So it was more beneficial for us, you know, to refill those bottles up after buying them because they're so expensive to buy the case of bottled water. I was actually watching a movie last night. It's called Guilt Trip, and the mom kept refilling her plastic water bottle. And the son would laugh at her, but she would say it's good for the environment and it saves money. So some people do live by that theory. Another interesting thing Starbucks is doing is they've started introducing a travel mug. It costs $1, and you can actually bring the mug, use the mug, bring it back, and they'll refill it and give you 10 cents off your next cup of coffee. So there are plenty of ways in which other organizations are also helping the environment, and you save money. If you buy that mug for $1, eventually 10 cents and 10 cents and 10 cents is going to add up, and it'll save you money. An interesting fact about plastic water bottles is Americans throw away approximately 25 million plastic bottles a year. 90% of the bottles we throw away aren't even recycled. Now think about this. It takes about 450 years for one plastic bottle to recycle. Some, depending on the material, can take up to 1,000 years for it to fully decompose and be gone. I have an interesting list here of different ways we can recycle as individuals. I'll pass it around here. You can recycle cars. Instead of sending them to dump, if they're in dump condition, then obviously you need to get rid of it. But you can pass them down to people, maybe for spare parts and whatnot. If you have friends that need a part off a car, clothes. We can donate clothes to like the Salvation Army, Goodwill, and Plato's Closet will actually give you money for bringing gently used clothes there. So that's another benefit to us. We can make some money off of recycling. Christmas trees, food containers can be recycled. This list provides 50 different items we can recycle. So I'll pass it around. There's some interesting foam packing material, fluorescent bulbs, tires, and it even tells you how to recycle them. Paint, it's a hazardous waste. You shouldn't just be throwing it away in your trash can. So you can actually take it to some of the landfills. They'll collect it separately and get rid of it the proper way instead of just sneaking it in your trash can and throwing it away. Because it could be one of those 82% of landfills that are leaking into the environment. So today I discussed how easy it is to participate in a recycling program, how it can reduce waste in landfills, and how it can protect the environment, and individual benefits we can all receive.
Not the standard.